before midnight last night, Eastern Standard Time, Conor McGregor was revealed to have an injury that has forced him to withdraw from the highly anticipated fight he was scheduled against Michael Chandler on International Fight Week, June 29th in Las Vegas. That fight has been canceled for that date. It's been reported that they're trying to reschedule for a new date in either late August or September, hopefully. But the new main event is Alex Pereira, the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion, is taking on the guy that he beat back in November at MSG, Jiri Prochazka, the former UFC light heavyweight champion, who's coming off of a great win, just like Alex is at UFC 300. Jiri beat Alexander Rakic, stopped him. We know Alex stopped Jamal Hill early on in that main event. So we have a rematch for UFC 303 in Las Vegas, June 29th. But that's not all. We also got a new co-main event. It's the former title challenger, Brian Ortega, who submitted Yair Rodriguez earlier this year, is taking on the rising star in the featherweight division. That's Diego Lopez. The 29-year-old is coming off of a 3-fight finish streak, coming off of a first-round knockout at UFC 300 of Sadiq Youssef. He's ranked number 14. Ortega's ranked number 4. So the winner of that fight could really put themselves in a great position. The third fight, Carlos Alberg, was supposed to be in the co-main event against Jamal Hill, but Jamal Hill suffered a knee injury, had to withdraw. So they call up the always reliable, the veteran, the Lionheart, Anthony Smith, who's coming off in his own right of a very impressive first round finish over Vitor Petrino just a couple months ago. So those are two guys that are ranked 10 and 11 in the light heavyweight division. But overall, to me, when I first heard a couple days ago that Conor might be out and the press conference was canceled last week in Dublin, the first name that came to my mind was Alex Pereira, because he is the guy that has saved the day now many times. And if we look, this guy, what he's done, he's headlined MSG multiple times. He headlined MSG this past November and then headlined UFC 300 back in April, and now is headlining International Fight Week. So the 3 biggest cards in 1 year. This guy is just amazing at what he's been able to do. This will be his 12th MMA fight, but only his 9th total fight in the UFC. And he's did this in just over 2.5 years. This will be his 9th fight, and this will be his 5th title fight in over 2.5 years, which is just incredible. He will look for his 3rd straight win at 205 pounds with the light heavyweight championship. And he is, every fight that Pereira has, he's stardom continues to rise. He continues to become more of a fan favorite, more of a superstar. Although he doesn't speak English, he still finds a way to connect to the UFC fans, and he does that very well. And the early line has him at a minus 175 favorite over Jiri, who's plus 145. We know this is a rematch back of the fight we saw in November. Obviously, this doesn't stack up to a McGregor fight. No one stacks up to Conor McGregor in a Conor McGregor fight week. And that feel, it's just, the aura is just on a different level completely from anybody in the UFC. But Alex Pereira is one of the closest things that the UFC could do to salvage this fight week. And I think that the UFC did an incredible job. Credit goes out to all of the fighters involved: Pereira, Jiri, Ortega, Lopez, Anthony Smith, Carlos Alberg. This card is still really, really talented. Still Ian Machado Gary versus Michael Venom Page is at the top of the beginning of this card. So overall, International Fight Week is still headlined by a superstar. It's not Conor McGregor, but Alex Pereira versus Jiri Prochazka 2 should be an incredible, incredible fight come June 29th. It is great that Alex Pereira and Yuri Prohashka and all of the other fighters that came together to make this card happen on such short notice, less than 2 weeks pretty much until they would weigh in. They took this fight. But on the flip side of everything, if you look at both sides, the card is really great. The main event is great, is one that we wanted to see again, even though Alex stopped Yuri in their first fight back in November. But we do have to think about when fighters do take these matchups on short notice. The reality is there will be excuses and they will be fair. If Yuri beats Alex in this fight, that will warrant a trilogy because Alex won the first one, but also because Alex is taking this fight on such short notice against such a scary guy while having a couple broken toes at that. And so while it's great that this matchup was put together. The last time we had a great matchup put together on short notice, which was only about 10 days notice instead of 2 weeks, that was back in October when we saw the rematch between Alexander Volkanovski and Islam Makhachev, and we know how that one played out. That one was a quick knockout. This one's even different because there's two new fighters stepping into the main event. That time it was just one fighter. Both of these guys are stepping in on such short notice, no full training camp. So it's kind of an unknown, but the one thing is for certain is Yuri Prohashka and Alex Pereira will come to fight on fight night on June 29th because they always do. They're two of the best competitors in the sport, two of the best fighters in the world. So although they're taking it on short notice, I am not worried in the least that these guys will show up prepared to fight.